Happy Friday, everybody. Hope y'all are doing well. Not that far away from Christmas. And it's a weekend, obviously. I'm sure we have quite a split crowd today. We probably have a lot of people that feel really, 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 really good. And a lot of people that feel like a piece of crap. Not because of their doing. It would be because of the doing of the one, the only. You know who I'm talking about. Mr. Puka Nacua himself. Actually, a lot of other guys that had a lot of productive days yesterday as well. If you were forced to start Sam Darnold, he actually ended up having a good day. He never plays well against the Rams. That was like the first time he's ever played well against the Rams. We also had JSN, had like 23 points, something like that. I mean, if you had like a Puka and JSN stack, you're flying high right now. I had that in one or two of my semifinal teams. Corum outproduces Kyron again, takes away a touchdown from Kyron, so that was kind of annoying. Heck of a day, heck of a matchup last night. That was probably one of the most entertaining games I've seen in a long, long, long time. A lot of wild stuff went down, but a lot of fantasy points, and it was absolutely worth staying up for it if you did. Has Nathan stopped smiling about Puka Nacua yet? No? Good for him. I have not stopped smiling. My wife was literally falling asleep last night, and she stayed up to watch the game, and I was just like losing my mind the whole time. She was like, dude, you gotta chill. It was an absolute blast. I mean, for a just true fan of football, like Puka Nacua aside, true fan of football, you could not have fun watching that game. Like everything that you could have dreamed of that was insane happened all in that game. That 2-point conversion thing was absolutely wild. I have never seen that before. I mean, I was rooting for the Rams. I was pulling for the Rams. I'm a big Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, Puka fan, obviously. So like of all the teams I'd want to go to the Super Bowl and win it in the NFC, it would be the Rams. So I was pulling for them. I really wanted them to take home the dub. But I think they got the 2-point conversion call correct. In my opinion, I think they got it correct. Like they showed like those first two angles, and I was like, if you have any sort of angle, if you're not right down the line, you can't overturn it. And then somehow they had the sky cam like right on the line there, and it was a correct call in my opinion. Sucks for the Rams, but it resulted in like 15 more fantasy points for Puka, so I'll take it. Got Puka last night in one of my leagues, but oh well, yeah. Yeah, luckily that was not the case for me this week. I don't think I played anybody that owned Puka. And I have like 4 semifinal teams this week, and 3 of them I own Puka, so I'll take it. Real SEC guy 3-3 is rooting for Bama tonight. Yeah, I would love to hear your guys' take on tonight's game. Oklahoma or Bama, who you got? As an IU fan, obviously, we're going to be paying a ton of attention to that game tonight, so I'm excited to watch it. And do a little. There's some pretty good prospects on both sides of the ball. So I'm interested in that. I'm also just interested in seeing like, hey, what are we gonna have to worry about and be looking for, depending on who we end up playing in this game. So, winner goes to the Rose Bowl, plays IU. What's up, James? Appreciate you being in here, man. Smash the like button for Nathan's birthday. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's not my birthday, but smash the like button anyways. Bobby went to the game last night. It was wild. Yeah, dude, I turned it on at like... I didn't catch the first half. And then it was like 30-14, and I was about to turn it off after the Rams were expected to go on a drive and score again. Then they punted, and then Seattle drove, and then the interception. I was like, oh man, this is over. Absolutely wild. Could not believe it. That stat too was crazy. They're like 0-174 went down by 15 plus points in the fourth quarter. Like Seattle as a franchise. Unbelievable. That's crazy. Started Puka, can't go 30 seconds without thinking of him either. Dude, I couldn't fall asleep last night. Really, really bad. I couldn't fall asleep. It probably took me an hour to fall asleep. And it was already like midnight because that game went to OT. So he definitely hasn't stopped smiling. No, I have not. And here's the thing, like the matchup's far from over. I hope I don't suffer from the same curse that Thomas did last week, where he had 48 points from Kyle Pitts on Thursday night and ended up losing the game. That's absolutely in the cards for me, because Danny has CD and JJ and a couple of other guys that could totally pop off. It's very, very possible. But again, like, legitimately, I'm in the toilet bowl. My team sucks. I don't care. I just had an absolute blast watching that game last night. Thank goodness Jason scored some points. I was scared for such a slow start. Yeah, he had like 0 points in the first half, didn't he? He got like half of his production on that last drive. Yeah, Rams were robbed. Yeah, so some people think that the Rams got robbed there. I understand it. It's a little bit like, how often does that happen? Like a lateral looking pass, and how often do they actually spend that much time looking at the play? Like looking at the review? It's just because it was a 2-point play, a crucial 2-point play. And again, you can't get mad at them for getting it right. But there were some other shady calls at the end too. There was a PI call and some stuff on some crucial downs that was like definitely in favor of Seattle. But I wouldn't say it was crazy lopsided. Like the Rams defense kind of choked at the end of the day, which is kind of wild. And again, that 2-point play was just unfortunate. Arguably the top 5 game of the last half decade. I agree 100%. I mean, that'll... Anybody remember that Rams-Chiefs game back in like Mahomes' first year as a starter? And Goff was still the starter there. That game was like, I don't know what it ended up being, like 45-38 or something like that. It was like a total shootout, crazy game. A ton of crazy stuff happened. Never been more happy this week to have Pook on my squad. Bama by 6. Joe thinks Bama's going to take it. CK thinks Oklahoma's going to take it. Oklahoma won in the regular season, right? And it was a decently close matchup, correct? You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. It was correct, but the play call was called dead, so it shouldn't have changed. So it was called dead. So I did not know that. That's very interesting, because what I had seen, I didn't remember the play being called dead. And I remember the announcer saying, like Herb Street now were like, yo, this could have totally been called dead, but it wasn't. I thought, I didn't know that it was called dead. If it was called dead, the Rams absolutely got screwed on that. But, I mean, good on Charbonnet for picking the ball up in the end zone. Like, good on him for sure. You think IU should let Alberto get the job next year or get someone from the portal? I think his brother has looked good in his limited snaps. I think they should get someone in the portal and give Alberto an opportunity. Alberto's actually he's a lot more mobile than Fernando is. Like, he has legitimate rushing capability. I would be interested to see what he would offer if he were to start next year. That being said, I don't think that we shouldn't pursue a transfer portal quarterback. There's a lot of them out there right now. We got Sam Levitt. We got the North Texas guy. We got Sorsby, who actually I think was at IU a couple years ago, and then transferring again. Somebody else transferred. That's a big name. Crap, who am I thinking of? I don't know, but if Sam Levitt goes to IU, like, I will be absolutely stoked. And I would be really surprised if Alberto this year or in 2026 took the job from Levitt if he were to go to IU. But again, that doesn't mean that, like, Alberto's not going to get a chance or an opportunity. Plenty of stuff happens. And yeah, I think it's totally possible that he ends up being the starter. But I don't think that should keep us, again, from pursuing someone in the transfer portal if they're available. What's up, Dylan? We got Denick in here too. Denick said that he's on the road for the next 4 hours listening to us on going to Northern Oklahoma. Are you going to the game? Oklahoma's hosting, right? You're not going to the game tonight, are you? That'd be sick. Even if it was called, did someone needed to get on the loose ball? That's the rule. You want the ball in case someone gets weird, which it did. Yeah, gotta credit Charbonnet for that. Raiola. Raiola was the other guy that I forgot about is in the portal. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I was watching some Emmett Johnson film. Raiola's arm is unbelievable. he's like, I know a lot of people hate him. I know he has like a lot of social media haters because he's basically like a aura farmer and wants to be like the carbon copy of Patrick Mahomes, which is like kind of obnoxious. And it's like he intentionally tries to move exactly like him, like he's an actual copycat. But he's like actually really, 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 really talented and really good. I know everyone's going to want to, if he ends up being good, everyone's going to be like, oh, you know, he wants to be Patrick Mahomes, so everybody's going to compliment Patrick Mahomes. He's got a little Matthew Stafford in him. He's like, he's got a Stafford arm. Like he can throw some sidearms on really weird angles, and he can actually do it off. He can do it off balance too. He did a lot of stupid stuff on film at Nebraska every once in a while, like trying to extend plays. But again, you put him in the right situation. I don't think it was a bad move on his part at all to transfer out of Nebraska and go to a better situation. I don't know if IU would be the type of place that he would want to go, just with the type of, maybe not want to, he would want to. I don't know if Sig would pursue him. But we'll see. Sig likes certain types of people. And I think Raiola would kind of have to shape up a bit if he were to come to IU. Thoughts on Emmett Johnson? I think he's solid. I think he has day 2 upside. Nebraska fans, sad to see Raiola go. Yeah, I mean, he looks... Yeah, so a lot of people are going to compliment him to Mahomes, and I get it. He moves like Mahomes, but he throws like Stafford. He just reminded me so much of the way Stafford throws the ball. Accurate deep ball thrower too. Nathan, you should look at Jace Brown out of Kansas State. Okay, I'll have to look into that. Levitt is not going to IU. Okay, I mean, he did go to the transfer portal, so we'll see what happens. But I mean, I don't think it's. I'm saying he's guaranteed to go to IU, but that's definitely an option. I mean, IU has become one of the more desirable places to go in the country at this point. They have a ton of money. They're in the Big Ten, and they just freaking beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship and are one of the biggest Cinderella stories with one of the best coaches in college football. Like, no, I don't think it's a guarantee that Levitt goes, but to just say that he's absolutely not going, like, I don't know. I mean, if you're Sam Levitt and you wanted to resurrect your career and boost your draft stock, and you just saw Fernando do that, like, why would you not want to? If the opportunity is there. And again, that's a big if. Like, IU will have to want to pursue a Sam Levitt. Maybe they don't. Are you from Indiana? Yes. Avery and I are both from Indiana. South side of Indy. That's right. Casey Concepcion going off tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how he does in his matchup. Ton of guys. We're going to learn a lot about a lot of different players over the next couple of days, couple of weeks. Dante Moore. I'm sure he'll cook JMU, but I'm very, very, very excited to see the Oregon-Texas Tech matchup, to see how Dante Moore fares against a really good defense. I mean, he was fine against IU. Like, it wasn't a great day for Dante Moore against IU, but like, he was as advertised. So if they knock out Texas Tech, I think you're looking at Moore probably transferring regardless of what happens after that point. If he has a really bad day against Texas Tech, we'll see what happens. I don't know. Yeah, I saw Jordan Tyson is declaring for the draft. Jackson Dart versus Minnesota, or Bo Nix versus the Jags. Jackson Dart, take the higher rushing upside guy. Petersburg, near Evansville, 2 hours south of Indy. Awesome, dude. That's sick. I've been to the Evansville area. I used to do like tournaments in high school down there. It's a pretty area. Y'all won a couple games. Man's acting like IU as the name brand of Alabama or Georgia. And where has the name brand of Alabama gotten them? Another 3-loss season? Where's the name brand of Penn State gotten them? Where's Penn State right now? No, Indiana is not LSU. But the ability of these teams that have a ton of money to pay top-end transfer portal options is, I mean, like, NIL changes everything, dude. Like, you're 5 years behind. I'm not going to get triggered by that. Dog, it's 2 years. And again, when did anyone ever argue that IU has the history of Alabama? Like, how is that even relevant? Fernando Mendoza just won the Heisman Trophy on the second relevant year of Indiana Hoosiers football, pretty much in the history of Indiana Hoosiers football. So again, like that's a complete red herring. Like there's no, the history of Alabama and Georgia has nothing to do with the desirability of a quarterback trying to boost his draft stock going to IU. I don't even think it's most likely that Sam Leavitt goes to IU, but if Sam Leavitt ends up going to IU, I'm going to laugh so hard. Just saying. Yeah, NIL made Vanderbilt relevant. Again, like, you can make the same argument about Vanderbilt that you could with IU. I mean, Sam Leavitt or Raiola could go to Vanderbilt. Why would you not want to? Again, it's a completely different ballgame now. You don't have to look any further than Penn State to realize that this is not the college football of 2019. I think, yeah, like, Indiana's rise to relevance doesn't take away from the history of the best programs in college football historically. Like, what is that? Again, that's an irrelevant argument. They beat Ohio State without the wide receiver one. Yeah, Omar Cooper, I hope he's good to go by this next game, man. That really, that hurt us big time. We were panicking when he went down, and then they're like, yeah, he should be good. I mean, they got 3.5 weeks, so hopefully he's healthy at that point. I'm starting to kind of agree with Avery. I mean, with all this talk about, Alabama, I low-key kind of want Alabama to beat Oklahoma so IU can play Alabama and cook them. And then we can come back and talk about it. Well, yeah, and products of the transfer system and increasing products of the transfer system. I mean, the transfer system is there's a lot of money in the transfer portal. Like, the reason, again, like the top transfer portal prospects are some of the highest paid individuals in college football. And Fernando made like $2 million this year. All right, let's do a mock draft. Kurt Sinetti, best coach of football, to say IU doesn't have massive pools and insane players don't care nearly as much as any name brand anymore. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I know Avery does too. And again, it doesn't mean like there is a reason, and I will give this to I'm also not going to be one who goes out there and says that, oh, it's a totally even playing field and there's no difference between LSU and Indiana. There's a reason that Lane Kiffin moved from Ole Miss to LSU. They're in the same conference. Ole Miss actually has had more recent success than LSU has, but the reason he made the move is because LSU is willing to contribute more funds to the football program than Ole Miss is. And it's LSU, right? That's just that's like the cream of the crop, most desirable place that you want to go to. But again, for a place like Penn State, which you would probably put in that tier as well, I would assume, there are a lot of coaches that didn't want that job. There are a lot of coaches that didn't want to go there. Curt Cignetti just signed an extension with IU, and Penn State literally thought they had him in the bag for the very reason that you're talking about, because Alabama and Georgia and Penn State historically are better than IU. It doesn't matter. It does not matter at this point in this age of college football. It's all about it's 100% all about money. And if you have money, if you're a school like Indiana is one of the wealthier Big Ten schools, and they love their sports. I mean, they're putting more money into football than they are in basketball, which was unthinkable. You couldn't have. You could never. No way you could have ever told anybody that, and they would have believed you. Like in the state of Indiana, Indiana was a basketball state through and through for a century, and football, man, it's been huge. So hopefully they can get establishment. Right. There's no difference in living in Indiana. Yeah, the hand-me-downs won us a Big Ten championship. The hand-me-downs won us a Big Ten championship. LSU is in a much better spot than Penn State. Though Penn State's hire, who they ended up getting, was really good. The guy from Iowa State, pretty solid. Iowa State beat Iowa, I think, earlier this year. Iowa, obviously, a really good team. That was a good move. For a guy that I don't even know if he was on their radar, because they had 4 or 5 other guys lined up before they even thought about him, and then all of them said no. You're looking at a potential gap year for Penn State, and then they got a guy that was legit. I don't even know if they knew that he was available until they tried. So Penn State's in pretty decent shape, honestly. I'm more worried about Michigan. I've got some family that's Michigan fans. I'm not super anti-Michigan. I had a fun time watching their run when they went to the national championship with Harbaugh. I don't know what Michigan's going to do. And again, Michigan has a ton of money, so I'm sure they're going to be ready to drop the bag for whoever, but they're probably going to have to think outside the box to get a real big name, because the coaching hires, the coaching hire cycle for this year is done for the most part. It's not like they can't get somebody still that's a big name, but I don't know who they're going to get. I thought about, honestly, they could have looked for a coordinator. I know that's not super popular for some of the bigger schools, but again, you saw this with DeBoer. DeBoer was the OC for IU in 2020, and then he got the head coaching job to Washington. Actually, not to Washington. He went to a smaller school head coaching job, and then the year after that, he went to Washington, and then Bama. They would probably want to go for a head coach that knows how to run a program. So I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do. Sounds like Dylan Taylor's just a hater. I think, are you a Bama fan? He's got to be like a Bama or a Texas fan. Yeah, you don't even have to like IU. You don't have to like IU, but the funny thing is everybody's been saying that IU's trash all season. And we won in Eugene, beat Ohio State, which, oh, by the way, I think it's funny that everyone tries to talk down the opponents that IU beat this year after they beat them. But before they beat them, they were the best thing ever and 10 times better than IU. Ohio State going to beat them by 50. Then we beat them and they're like, oh, Ohio State's actually not that good. Okay. What's up, Anna? Anyways, let's do, I'm very curious to see what you guys think. about some of these players that we're going to put in this mock. Here, join this mock draft. Boom. First come, first serve. We're going to get this draft started. I want to see some movement here, or if there's going to be any movement with specific players due to injuries, recent performances, etc. Yeah, this guy's definitely an SEC guy. As a senior at Michigan, thank you for beating OSU. As a IU fan who still hates Michigan, or not Michigan, who still hates Ohio State, but not nearly as much as Michigan hates Ohio State. Thank you for beating Ohio State for the 4 years before this year. That brought me a lot of joy. That brought a lot of people a lot of joy. All right, we're full. Let's do this. It's going to be fun to watch. Oh, no. What? Go to draft. No, I want to hide this. There we go. Okay. Drake May goes 101. I need to zoom out here a little. So there we go. Boom. That's better. Caleb or Mahomes in Dynasty? Mahomes for sure. Mahomes had a bad year this year passing. This is the worst year by far that he's had passing. Sorry, I got to mute the sounds. Still mourning over the Mahomes injury. Yeah, dude. Killed a lot of people on their playoff runs. I'm like, I have one playoff team that's down to like starting Kirk Cousins, and I just kind of got lucky with it because there's been so many injuries, and Cousins has actually been fine. What are your thoughts on third round reversal next year? So of the small sample size that we've gotten of mock drafts, I think third round reversal I think is okay this year because the tiers expanded so much to a point where in the first rounds where it really is a whole first round, and then there's a drop, and then there's another, like I think it's a lot more even with the third round reversal and a lot more fair this year than it was last year when a lot of people felt locked into draft quarterbacks up top, and now people are starting to take those wide receivers. They're being pushed up to where their value should be. Will Danny be in the Flock League next year, or was his crash out? I said no. He had a clip in the video this week. Honestly, for him, like the last couple of weeks, there just hasn't been much to talk about because he had the bye last week because he was one of the bottom teams in the toilet bowl. Same for me. The only reason I did clips last week is because I had a crash out moment with the rules being changed in the middle of the week. But there were so many buys last week that he didn't have anything to record. And the week before that, like the games were meaningless. After the crash out video, all of his games were meaningless. So there just wasn't really anything to talk about for him. But now that we have a matchup this week, like he'll be in more of the content for sure. It's just hard to like when you don't have a matchup that you are literally in, or a matchup that matters on like the last week or two of the fantasy football regular season. Like it just, you can't really talk about much outside of reacting to stuff, but does Arizona roll with Jacoby next season? I think they might have to. I don't think there's enough QBs in the game, and I don't know if there's enough QBs this season in this class for them to comfortably take a shot on a guy. And again, unless they like, I don't know. I mean, Tua just got benched. Maybe they get Tua or something. I really don't know. Arizona's an interesting one because honestly, I mean, Jacoby's a fringe starter. The reason he's a backup is because everybody knows what his ceiling is and it's pretty capped. But I mean, Jacoby was in Indy for 3 or 4 years, and he had almost 2 full seasons of starting. And one of those seasons, he was pretty good. But again, it was like we were a fringe playoff team, almost out of the picture. Is just kind of, caps. So again, if Arizona's planning to like rebuild for a year, like a transition season, I think Jacoby's a good guy to get on a pretty cheap contract. So it's very possible. Okay, so we got Chase, JSN, and Puka going as the top 3 receivers here. I know a lot of people are talking about, Puka, wide receiver 1. Again, one game isn't really going to change my opinion on like where I rank Puka Nacua. It just solidifies that tier that he's in, which is it's the top S tier, That dude is like, you put the ball in Puka Nacua's radius, like within a 5-yard radius of Puka, and he's gonna catch it. You like give him a chance to win a contested ball, and he's gonna bring it down. You double him, doesn't matter. He'll get it anyways and cook you. Jamar Chase has quietly been, again, Jamar Chase this year, like, he's been solid. I know he hasn't been like breaking fantasy the last few weeks, but like, 18, 10, 23, 14, 8, and 16 targets after he missed the game against New England in week 12. Wide receiver 5 on the year. I mean, he's going to finish as a, probably top 4, top 5 wide receiver again this year. Incredibly consistent. Just kind of annoying. It's like that situation is always so up in the air with Burrow being injured, the offense being inconsistent from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. Can you handle the slow starts or not? I think you're going to see a lot of change this offseason when Zach Taylor's fired. Yeah, I think Zach Taylor's going to be fired. Is there any chance Marv gets traded? No. No, he won't get traded. Now, BTJ, on the other hand, we actually were just talking about this today with Kyle, Tom, and Avery. I think we think the Jacoby signing might be indicative of some moves that the Jags make in the offseason. It's like, oh, well, why would they get rid of BTJ before his rookie contract is up? Well, because he actually has value. And again, they paid so much for Hunter and Myers. Like, I don't know. Jacoby Myers just came in the middle of the season and absolutely cooked BTJ and just outproduced him and looked better. So, like, obviously you prefer BTJ long term, but what they could get in return for potentially moving him in the offseason to a team that actually could utilize BTJ better than the Jags can, I think it's possible. Sean McVay says he does not anticipate Devontae Adams playing in Week 17. Any of you championship hopefuls will not be getting Adams in Week 17 either. That sucks. It's nice for Puka owners, though. I will say, no Devontae Adams is real nice for Puka Nacua. Because by the time you get to the red zone, Adams is getting every single red zone target because that's where he makes his money. It's just Puka all day when there's no Adams. So we see JJ fall to the beginning of the second. I think that's pretty fair. Nothing super wild here. Mahomes falls back to the late first, which I don't think is unreasonable at all. I think like right there by Hurts and Burrow is totally fair. Buka at the 211, Herbert at the 212. Herbert's an interesting guy. Herbert's kind of fallen in terms of consistent production of recent. I know it's been because he's been injured, but since week 9, when he started the season, the first half of the year, he was a top 4 QB, I think. Top 3. Since week 9 against Tennessee, 14, 4, 13, 13, and 11 points. Passing volume has gone down significantly. I mean, this is all the way back down to what resembles a Greg Roman offense. Run the crap out of the ball. Only throw it 25 times. They got Dallas this week. But, yeah, Herbert's got a broken hand, too. So I got to give that to him. Non-throwing hand, but still. You could tell it was bugging him in that Philly game, especially. I want Salah to stay a Niner, but I doubt he does, no matter how much money we give him. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's always a chance that he's like a Brian Flores, and he just wants to stay a DC. There's always that chance. But I would not be shocked. He'll probably get head coaching interviews for sure. The Niners are far from the best defense statistically this season, but what they've been able to do with what they have and all the injuries that they've suffered is unbelievable. The fact that they are in the playoff picture is a remarkable feat and a testament to what Saleh is as a defensive coordinator. You're preaching to the domain choir, brother. Preaching to the domain choir, Mike. I 100% agree with you. The age argument is not enough. No one likes Purdy in my Dynasty League. I've dropped him a couple times and no one picked him up. That's got to be in a 1 QB, right? 1 QB, right? Okay, yeah. You're 1 QB. I mean, unless you're in like an 8-team 1 QB, Purdy should absolutely be rostered. Fred Warner's going to be back for the playoffs? Is that like certified factual? He had like a disgusting injury. '49ers. No, these are all... There's nothing official about this. Nothing official that I'm seeing. Yeah, the only thing that's like actually quotable is John Lynch saying that Fred Warner will push the limits, which we'll see what happens there. I mean, if he comes back, that would be incredible. Will he be serviceable if he comes back? Is he even worth it? The offensive line, you're totally correct. The offensive line injuries with no Alts and no Slater is absolutely brutal. They have an unwatchable offense since they lost both of those guys. Borderline unwatchable. Okay, so this is kind of like a Hutchinson thing. Like Hutch was like, yo, if we make it all the way to the Super Bowl, we'll be ready by then. Now, hang on, Dylan. You got to get through the Phil Rivers. You got to get through the Phil Rivers Indianapolis Colts. I mean, look out. Yeah, I was gonna say he had a gross injury. His foot got annihilated. It's like almost as bad as Scatterboo. I mean, good on him if he's able to come back. That'd be great. Okay, third round. So we got Henderson going now back to back with JT. JT kind of fallen back down to where I think he's more fairly priced in this range. He was getting close to early third during his tear, but JT, since the Colts offense has really fallen off, has been pretty meh since the bye week. 8, 15, 11, and 13 points. Again, he's not killing you because his volume is so good. But he's definitely come back down to earth, and it's really because of the touchdowns. He's had 1 touchdown since the bye week. And that salvages a day against Jacksonville. Has not had a 100-yard game since the Atlanta game in Week 10. Again, when you watch JT, he still looks phenomenal, but they're just not a high-octane offense like they were to begin the season. So, less red zone trips mean less touchdown opportunities, so really he kind of has to pop one off, get a breakaway run to really have game-breaking upside on a weekly basis right now. Sal's in a little bit of trouble on this run in the Flock League. Sal's still the favorite, obviously, but Sal, I would be really surprised if he lost this week. He would have to lay a big-time dud because Sammy's got so many injuries. Yeah, agreed. JT always going to slow down. 2.5 touchdowns isn't realistic per game. Yeah. Or 25, I'm assuming is what you mean. I mean, it's not impossible, but again, with the way that their offense was regressing, playing just better opponents, no. Hindsight's 2020. CMC at the 5-6 turn, not unreasonable for a league winner when he's healthy, like he's been this year. Remember that time? Remember when we were heading into this season and there was an announcement the week before the season started that CMC had a lingering calf injury and people freaked out, including myself. That was fun. Then he played the whole season and is going to finish as the RB1 again. What's he averaging this year? Averaging ridiculous production. He's putting up wide receiver 1 numbers just as a receiver. 25 points per game. Puka's averaging dang near 24 points per game, which is unbelievable. Anna said, I just don't want Mason to win. Yeah, he's probably going to lose Josh Jacobs this week if the beat writer report is correct. I don't think it's any guarantee that Mason makes it to the finals here. He's got to beat out the Dev team, and the Dev team is probably the second best team in the Flock League. Scat in the 6th round is crazy. I think it's a really good value upside play. If you want to get a guy that you are very, very confident is going to increase in value heading into the season, Cam Scatterby's your guy. If you can get him at this price right now. Because the further on we get into the offseason, I would suspect that he probably rises slowly. You always run the risk of, them taking a running back shot, but in this class, it's this running back class is not it, dude. At least in terms of depth, you're not going to see absolute mayhem like you did last year with a ton of replacement options going day 3. It's really, really, really ugly. The depth of the running backs are really brutal. We just had 3 guys actually that were going to be depth candidates, like early day 3 candidates. They were Quintrevion Wisner out of Texas is going to come back. Hollywood Smothers is going to come back as well. And Waymon Jordan is also going to be coming back. So those were all pretty big names. that are going to be in the class of 2027, which just adds to the expected lore of the 2027 class. I mean, the depth of 2027 is already looking really good. The star power is, again, we expect it to be good. I know everybody just tags Jeremiah Smith to 2027, which is great. He's elite. He's one of the better prospects we've ever seen. But you obviously need more stars to come alongside him to make the early to mid look like absolutely stacked. But I mean, the depth is already looking pretty set for 27. Yeah, a lot of people love Emmett Johnson. Emmett Johnson looks pretty good. I will say, and this is not just me, this is like certified scouts. Again, insider information for Jadarian Price and his agent, because you don't get the limited amount of work and opportunities that Jadarian Price did at Notre Dame this year and declare unless you know something that everybody else doesn't. I think Jadarian Price is like probably going to go second round. His analytics are pretty solid and his film is really good. Jonah Coleman, Emmett Johnson, Justice Haynes out of Michigan all have really good traits. Then after that, it is a cliff. Like a literal cliff. All right, anything crazy going on here? JMO back to his preseason price. JMO been on a tear since Laporta season-ending injury. Saquon in the 6th round is very palatable. Love Saquon's price there a lot more than the than the late 2nd and early 3rd. Matthew Golden at the 709. Worthy, QJ, Pearsall, Pitt. I mean, this wide receiver range is ugly as crap. You're looking at a massive wide receiver fall off after the 5th round because all these receivers are getting pushed up. And the running backs in the 6th are real nice. You know what this means. You know what else is really nice in the 6th and 7th round are QBs. Goff, Lawrence, Darnold. Yep. Whew, McCarthy at the 801. Okay. We got a believer. We got a believer in the recent production. I know he's been scoring points, but I'm not going to lie, dude. McCarthy still looks awful. AR had some really productive games last year, too, and he looked really bad scoring 30 points. He's wildly inaccurate. McCarthy is, but man, he'll produce with Jalen Naylor. I remember when he hit Kraft in the 10th. The good times, yeah. Those were good times. If Dante Moore and Ty Simpson for some reason don't commit, 27 could be the best class ever. Yeah, we'll see. I think QBs are the most difficult to get a grip on year over year because there just is so much unknown. I mean, you're looking at 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we were heading into the class of 2026. 2 years ago, Carson Beck was expected to be one of the top prospects for the 2024 class. Didn't declare. 2025 expected, didn't declare because he had an awful year. And he's still in college in 2026. Like all of the top expected prospects that are expected for the following year, like half of them end up being almost irrelevant. It's really, really hard to predict what's going to happen. And it's not that they can't like resurrect their careers eventually, but I mean, some of these guys, it's kind of why people are starting to really suspect that Dante Moore is more likely than not going to declare, because while it's really benefited a lot of players to stay, say at running back and wide receiver an extra year, it has not necessarily been the case for quarterbacks. Like if you have, I think Jackson Dart was a really good case study as well on the positive side. Like Jackson Dart really could have stayed and guaranteed his first round draft stock, but I mean he kind of just took his chance and went for it and worked out. As opposed to guys like, say, Garrett Nussmeier, who decided to stay, did not work out. Carson Beck, obviously, who could have come into the 2024 class, and he stayed an extra year, and I mean, he's irrelevant. He won't be drafted even day 2, probably. Drew Aller as well. Yeah, Drew Aller would have been first round last year, most likely. And I don't even think he's eligible to come back. Cade Klubnik, another guy. Yep. Klubnik and Nussmeier were the 2 guys that people expected to be significant risers in the class of 2025 if they were to declare. And they did not. Drew Aller as well. So that's 3 guys right there. Ty Simpson is one guy that I really would understand if he wanted to stay, but for Dante Moore, it's like I would be pretty ticked if he stayed. Lenoris Sellers is a different case. I wouldn't necessarily put him in that category. I think Lenoris Sellers just straight up regressed this year. I think he looked awful. And again, some of these high-profile athletes have a lot of connections with their agents, have a lot of NFL connections. They'll ask around with NFL scouts and say, hey, you know, where are you grading this guy? Where would this guy most likely be drafted in this range? I mean, Sellers was probably going to be in like the Milrow range, 3rd round at best, drafted for traits. He needs to get back to what he was in 2024 and better than that. To get his draft stock up again. So it was good of him to stay, in my opinion. Dart spends over 50% of games in the medical tent. 50% of defensive snaps. But on the offense, he's out there scoring points, man. Jackson Dart this year, since he became the starter in week 4, 19, 17, 23, 29, 19, 27, 26, 13, and 23 points. That is one heck of a floor. His passing volume is not anything to write home about, but his rushing upside, good gosh, man. 400 rushing yards, and that's missing 5 games. In 11 games, he has had 400 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns. His rushing upside's legit. Sellers needs to transfer. Yes, I agree. But didn't he re-sign with South Carolina? So he's staying. Did Sellers transfer? No, he's finalizing a return to South Carolina. So he signed a contract. Yeah, he's gonna get Neighbors back too. Mm-hmm. All right, how's the 8th, 9th, and 10th round looking here? Pretty gross. Absolutely disgusting. Really, really nasty. Yikes. Picks that I like. Let's talk on the more positive end. Picks that I like. Terry McLaurin I like. Jaden Higgins I like. Fannin I like at the 8-12. Kittle, I like in the early 9th. Stafford, I like in the late 9th. Everybody's been expecting Stafford to retire since he was drafted. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is about it for the picks that I like in that range. That is gross. Underwood, I heard, is going to the Vikings when he declares. Speaking it into existence, Chris. I really like Underwood. Now, as far as the status of Underwood at Michigan, I don't know. I feel like everybody at Michigan is kind of just at a standstill, like waiting to see who they hire. But I mean, there's legitimately, there's a chance that they lose like almost their whole team. That was like the crash out of all crash outs for a team. I mean, you're like Michigan's at risk of being right back where they were before Harbaugh came. But the difference between where they were previously, before Harbaugh came, and now is this is a really good time to have something devastating like that happen because we're in the age of NIL and paying players. So Michigan, one of the richest football programs in college football, has all the money they want. All the money they want to distribute out to whatever players they want. But yeah, I will be interested to see what Underwood decides, if he's going to stay or if he's going to go. A lot of people talking about Nick Harbor. Nick Harbor is like built and plays like DK Metcalf from like a talent or from an athletic perspective. Obviously, he's not as. I'm not saying he's going to be DK Metcalf. I'm just saying like that's the type of wide receiver that he would be if he were to work out. Big, tall, fast, runs on the outside. Can run out of the slot. They actually used him in jet sweeps at South Carolina, which I thought was hilarious. But I mean, that dude will cook you. He is so fast. Underwood to IU would be insane. That would be insane. We have 2 years of Underwood. All right. Let's move over here and answer some start sit questions, do some team reviews. Got multiple start sits here from Cranon. Again, follow the link that's pinned in the comments, guys, if you want to get your team reviewed. Just get the live team blueprints. With this link, there's an a la carte option if you're already a member. If you are not a member, if you sign up for the annual Motherflocker tier using code DOMAIN, you get a free team review voucher, a free blueprint voucher. You just submit that, and we'll do it live for you tonight on the stream if you sign up for the annual Motherflocker tier. Just follow that link. Imagine he goes to LSU. That would also be sick. I'm very interested to see how LSU looks like immediately. Like, what's the immediate impact of getting Lane Kiffin on that in that organization compared to like Brian Kelly? Is it going to kind of be a lot of the same? Is it going to be a lot different? Will it take time? Will you see like an immediate impact? I don't know. We'll see. I'm not a big Brian Kelly guy, so I would wager to I would bet that LSU is going to look a lot more competent than they have the last couple of years. I would love Underwood at IU because I like Underwood a lot. Just turn on ESPN and there's game day. Oh, that's right. Friday game day. All right, so we got to start sit here from Cranon. Need floor with Puka rooting for the fan this week. Okay, Jackson Dart for sure is going to be your first QB start, and then between Caleb Williams and Jordan Love right now. So let's look at their matchups this week. They're not going up against each other, are they? Yeah, they are going up against each other. Packers, Bears. So Love always goes on a hot streak at the end of the season against Chicago's defense. Been throwing it a lot more. Caleb Williams going up against a defense that was a shell of what they were even just a couple weeks ago when he played them. My gut says Jordan Love. They're going to have to lean on Jordan Love a lot if Josh Jacobs doesn't play. Aaron Jones, Michael Carter at running back. Yeah, that's definitely the play. Just want to add a note, though. You will want to go with Monangai probably over Michael Carter if DeAndre Swift doesn't play. But as far as your last flex option here, I mean, you got to ride and die with Emeka Egbuka here. There's nobody else relevant here that you want to start. Tight end looks fine. All right, JK Wex just want insight from two best flock league guys. Appreciate you, man. Though I do not deserve that label because I've been in the toilet bowl 2 years in a row. Quarterback, we got Bo Nix and Jackson Dart. Running back, we've got Bucky and Henderson. Wide receiver, we got Sutton and Pickens. Who we flexing? Mike Evans, auto flex. Dowdle, Emmanuel Wilson, or Jefferson? Oh, buddy. Let me just tell you the tiers that we have these guys ranked in this week. So for Jefferson, they've got the Giants this week, I believe. And Jefferson's going to be in the D's tier. Carolina is taking on Tampa, and Dowdle, honestly, like really took over the snap share this past week coming off the bye. 60% snap share, 16 carries, a touchdown. He looked pretty solid. And again, it's Tampa, and Tampa's defense has not looked very good. We've got Dowdle in the C tier this week, so we give him the upper hand. But Emmanuel Wilson, I will say, if Emmanuel Wilson starts, I'm going to give you Dowdle. If Emmanuel Wilson starts, you have to start Emmanuel Wilson. I think that would be the best starting option because Wilson, I mean, just he's like the Alexander Madison of 2025. The games that Jacobs was hurt this year, 13 and 26 points, gets a ton of volume, 71 and 56% snap share. So he's your must start going up against Chicago if he ends up going, or if Jacobs ends up being hurt. All right, what's up, TDP? QB, Purdy, May, Penix, we're gonna go May, and then Purdy is your second option. Did you start Stafford? TDP, I'm assuming you're on the stream here. Did you start Stafford? Please tell me you started Stafford. If you did not, then I will put Purdy in as QB2. We'll just do that. Let me just assume you didn't start Stafford, and I'll have you go with Purdy. At running back, got to start Bucky, got to start Chase Brown. Those are your must starts at running back. You did not. Okay, I got you. That is okay. Purdy still has a great matchup. I mean, he'll cook the Colts. I'm assuming you started JSN. And then London, Trey McBride, for sure. Something wacko going on with this one, man. Then we got CeeDee Lamb. Do you have Pickens as well? If you have Pickens, you gotta flex Pickens. This looks wrong. I'm gonna refresh and make sure this is okay. It's like something wacko. Yeah, this is messed up. TDP, can you resubmit the start sit question? There's something wacko going on with all these players. I don't know if you even have all these players. Just go ahead and resubmit if you don't mind. We'll get back to that. Again, guys, if you want to get your team reviewed tonight, you do have all of those. Okay, it was like every time I was scrolling, it was like doubling up on the players. I'm sorry, man. That was a hassle for you. My bad. I was like looking at duplicates, and then it was like multiplying the players when I was selecting a player. That might not be your fault. It might be a site thing. Vexdots is a start sit. Appreciate you, man. Baker and Phillip Rivers at QB. Good luck, man. Lost Mahomes. Got to do it. Diggs, Amara, Evans, Kelsey, Saquon. Flexing. Got to go with Wandell for sure. Wandell's your best flex option here. And then it's basically between Jalen Warren and Xavier Worthy. I don't feel good about either. I'm going to be totally honest. With no Rashee Rice, probably got to go with Worthy. It's not pretty, but yo, once you resubmit, and I re-answer all your questions, I'll give you another voucher. Sorry about that, man. All right, let's do C. Carter's team here. This is Rice, baby. And again, if you guys want to get a team reviewed tonight, just follow the link that's pinned in the chat there. So Rice, baby. Is he a playoff team? No. Oh, is this a new startup? This looks like a new startup. Because there's no records assigned. I don't know. Maybe this is not a startup. Maybe the records are just all whack. Anyways, I do agree with the values. He is toward the bottom of the league here. Lamar Jackson and Daniel Jones. It's not a super lopsided league, like even the guys up here. Maddie, I would submit that in the site issues channel on the Discord. Devs need to fix that. Yeah, like these teams up here. Okay, yeah. So Lamar Jackson, Daniel Jones in a 10-team Superflex full PPR half tight end premium. That's like a 6. He's got Kyler and Tua as well. Kyron, Derrick Henry, DeAndre Swift. It's going to be good for a 5. Rashee Rice, AJ Brown, probably more like a 4 actually at running back. Rashee Rice, AJ Brown, Michael Pittman, Brandon Ayuk. That's a 5. And then George Kittle is going to be a 6. So you have... Who's first here? You've got Georgezilla's first. Georgezilla has a pretty average team, a lot of picks. Hold on to that first for sure. But yeah, in a 10 team, man, I'm trying to look at the other teams here because this is a pretty... Yeah, a lot of these teams are pretty stacked because, again, it's a 10 team start 9. This team is not very good. You have a better team than his by far. You have a better team than his. I would probably go borderline 1 year reload here. If we have you contend, then we're going to have to have you down tier from Lamar. Get a little extra security. We're going to go 1 year reload here. I don't think we have enough value to really like get you to a point where like your flex spots are looking so good heading into 2026 where I'm like, yo, you're definitely contending. You definitely could. Like with enough moves, you could turn this into a contending team. You can end up making some noise in 2026. As far as moves that I want you to make here, because again, your draft capital this year is fine. You don't have your first in 2027, all the more reason for me to have you reload now. I'd rather you reload with a pick in 2026 than hold off the reload, risk going into a hard rebuild because you don't have picks going into 2027. So this is answering my question for me. We're going to take Lamar and down tier. Don't undersell Lamar when down tiering if you down tier. You should be getting a haul. I mean, I would be looking to go down to probably like Burrow or Dart. Caleb is also another option there. Again, you're going to get a production you're going to get a you're going to lose production there, obviously, production upside. But I care more about the extra value being contributed to wide receiver or running back before quarterback. It's just not our priority right now. Give you Mahomes as the down tier candidate. See if you can get him for like real cheap. We're going to take Kyron and move him for a wide receiver. Rasheed's a hold. AJ Brown's a hold right now. Pittman, I would look into shopping. Swift as well, I would look into shopping. Maybe Kittle as well. Probably Kittle and Pittman stand out to me the most. Try to get like higher value upside / younger asset. Still find Hunter intriguing. I know that situation's a little murky right now with Hunter or with Myers getting extended. What's going to happen to BTJ in the offseason? We'll see. There's enough murkiness there that you might be able to get him at for a pretty fair discount. Let's try to get Garrett Wilson for cheap. Garrett Wilson's season is done. Shut him down for the year because it's a meaningless season. I'm going to give you Cam Scatterbu as a running back target. Mahomes, Scatterbu, Garrett Wilson, and Travis Hunter will be your targets here. Lamar down tier, Kyron wide receiver, Michael Pittman, George Kittle higher value upside. Honestly, instead of Scatterbu, I'll probably give you like Tet or somebody in that range. Tet, Garrett Wilson, and Hunter. Focus primarily on building more value upside at wide receiver and running back this offseason. If you have any questions on that, man, let me know. I don't know if you're on the stream, but if you have any follow-ups, feel free to ask him in the chat. The blueprint will be sent to you within the next 24 hours as well. All right. TDP, I just saw your resubmission. Thanks for doing that. If it's still messed up, it's whatever. I'll work through it. But thanks for your trouble there. I'm going to send you another start sit and trade question voucher because that was not your fault. Something goofy going on with like how it's reading the league ID or something. Okay, here we go. Oh, it is less goofy this time. So Drake May, Purdy. Here we go. London, Lamb. McBride. Your last flex option here. Basically deciding between... So Lamb, obviously a must. I think it really is down to, are we doing Hampton, Dowdle, or Genty? We have Dowdle and Hampton both in the C tier this week. I would give the upper hand to Hampton because he's the better running back and he's playing Dallas. Genty's just in a terrible situation. Jalen Warren splitting a backfield where he's actually being outproduced by Gainwell consistently every week. Makes your decision, I guess, easier this week because there's no Rice, but yeah, that's a good lineup, man. Good luck this week. Again, guys, I'll give you one last call here to submit your start sits or team blueprints. If you want to get one review tonight, follow that bit.ly link that I just dropped in the chat. It's also pinned in the comments for you. If you want to sign up for the annual Mother Flocker tier using code DOMAIN, you'll actually get a free team blueprint review tonight on the stream. Chris is heading out. See you, man. Reminders, Puka is Dynasty wide receiver 1, and Boston is greater than Cornell Tate. You're not crazy with the Puka take. You're not crazy with the Boston take. I'm not there yet. I'm close. I'm close to putting Boston in the same tier as those guys. I love Denzel Boston. He is probably the my guy of 2026 for me. Yeah, man. Drop one in. If you have a trade question, I'll answer it for you. Just follow that link. Trevor Bob, if your team is looking messed up, I would drop that in the side issues channel on the Discord. Tag the dev team, and they should be able to look into that and fix it. If it's messed up, that definitely needs to be fixed. What do you guys think about the new setup, by the way? Do you like the backdrop? Do you like the sign? I've been like super lazy and I've not put up the sign for a while. Change like the angle of my shot. New Death Star Lego set coming soon. Will be behind me at some point when I'm done building it. It's been taking a long time. Oh, thanks, David. You're in that league too. Let me look at that league. So that's the league where I just paid to get Josh Jacobs for my run, and now I just lost Josh Jacobs this week potentially. Like he's might be doubtful. And I was debating between flexing Kincaid or Corum, and I decided to go with Kincaid, and he is cleared for Sunday. Thank the maker. Oh my gosh. So now I need Kincaid to do better than what Corum did. 13 points. That is by far the least deep team that I've taken to a semifinal ever in a Dynasty League. That my team is My depth is cheeks. I was flexing Devin Neal, and I got the 1 seed in that league. Didn't I? No, I got the 2 seed. But yeah, you and I, man. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If you end up playing me, if we end up meeting in the championship, you are totally beating me. JT really carried me through most of the season. I've kind of cooled off since he's cooled off. All right, Wyatt's got a start sit question here. Rice out, struggling with who to start this week. Dart for sure. He's got the rushing upside. Very high floor. No Rice, so we're going to go BTJ. And then in your flex, we're actually going to go Fannin. And then probably a Buka. Benson Mason are irrelevant. Rice is injured. Coker and Goddard, not guys that I really want to flex. Hopefully Ibuka can get a touchdown this week. Get like 15 plus points. That would be awesome. Good luck this week, man. Yes, my JT team lost last week in round 1 of the playoffs. That's brutal. That's so frustrating too. Like generally it takes a lot of investment and a lot of like future value investment that costs you to go get one of those guys. Not just now, but like holding them, you know, and you expect to make a run, and to get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs sucks. That's the state that I was in one of my leagues, where I didn't get the bye. I traded like 2 firsts to get like James Cook and DK and Godwin or whatever, like earlier in the season. There were 2 expected late firsts. Felt really good about it, and then I started losing games, like really unlucky, to a point where I missed the bye, and I was like, dang, if I lose round 1, I'm gonna be ticked. And then I scored like 200 points, and I had Puka, and Puka just scored like 46 this week. So hopefully I can make it to the championship in that league. But I went 2-2 with bye weeks last week. So 2 on bye, 2 not on bye, and I won those 2. So I've got all 4 playoff teams in my Dynasty League are still alive. Though Domain Live League is definitely the shadiest, because if I don't have Jacobs, I'm screwed. Hoping Kelsey can pop off with Minshew as well. That would be really nice. Would you rather down tier off McBride or Bowers and tight end premium if you were a middling team and had to choose one? I would down tier from Bowers because generally he's more expensive than McBride, so you can get better value return. All right, guys, that is gonna do it for the night. Appreciate y'all hanging out. Love talking NFL football. Always love talking Puka Nacua. I mean, it's my pleasure. Anytime you have a Puka Nacua question, just ask me. Feel free to reach out. Feel free to ask it in the comments during a live stream. I am always happy to answer your Puka Nacua questions. Just brings me so much joy. Truly. I also love talking college football as well. I will say the last few years, I've really grown to love college football more than I ever have in the past. Because college football, in a way, it's kind of hard to watch. A lot of offenses are really hard to watch, but I've just found it a lot more enjoyable. Because of prospects, because of the CFP, because of, IU being good. That makes it fun too. But tonight's going to be a fun game, so I hope you guys enjoy watching the game tonight. All of the college football games this weekend. Good luck in your semifinal matchups. Hope we can chat next live stream on Tuesday with Avery, and most of you guys who are in the semifinals have made it to the championship. Hope you own Puka Nacua as well. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend, and Merry Christmas.